and good morning. Like it says up there, or it did, I'm a back-end software engineer. And as I was researching for this particular talk, I discovered that only about 5 to 11% of all women who are doing development actually do back-end engineering. And this was really concerning for me. And then it made me reflect on my career. And I thought about all of those challenges and all those obstacles that I had to face. And they seemed insurmountable when you look at them, but they're really not. Two of them really stood out to me and have been there the entire time that I've been in this industry. And that is the misconception that women are not competent and that women are not performant. Something that I faced no matter what company I went to go work for and no matter what team that I went to go work for. And being the only is really difficult, right? Being part of that 5% and everyone else being male, 95%, is hard. And the only way that I can really explain what it's like to be the only is to use an analogy. And I'm going to use a soccer analogy because we learned two things in my home, and that was STEM, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and football. So just the other day, actually a couple weeks ago, I decided I missed the game. I hadn't played for many years. So I looked in my closet, dusted off my cleats, and I went to the field, and lo and behold, all men, all Hispanics. And all of a sudden, some young man comes running up to me and he says, "Are you really going to play?" And I'm like, yes, of course I'm going to play. What kind of question is that? How many times have you guys gone into rooms or approached a group of men where they kind of give you that side stare, that smirk, wondering, why is it that you're here? Are you really going to take a seat at that table? It's tough. Perfect time to exit, right? Don't. Instead, you're going to build yourself up. Gain some confidence. Go and talk to the person and say, I was invited. I'm going to stay. I've actually been on this field before and played this game many times. So you establish your presence. After you've established your presence, you're part of the team. You're accepted now. But can you actually compete? Can you play the man's game? Are you going to be as good as some of those guys on the roster? Maybe not, but you're going to have to prove your competence, right? So what are you going to do? You're excited, you're ready to get on the field, you tap into your education, you tap into your training, you tap into your experience, you do everything right on the field, but you never get the ball. How many times have you guys gone into meetings where you talk about things that you have experience with, that maybe you did your master's thesis on, but it's a room full of men and you're the only, and you never get the baton? It's hard. It's disheartening. Perfect time to exit, right? You gonna do that? No. What are you gonna do instead? Instead, you're gonna pull someone aside, not during the game, and say, listen, I'm on your team. Instead of turning the ball over all the time and making mistakes, use me. I'm here to support, right? So now you've established that you have some competency and you're willing to play this game and you're willing to be supportive, and you start getting in with the team, right? You start to actually overperform. You're proving that you are performant, right? What happens at that point? You start to get noticed. That's good. But maybe you might get slide tackled from behind. You're doing so well. You might take up a roster spot in that all men's only roster. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna feel like crying. Maybe. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna exit? You're gonna quit? No, we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do instead is we're going to reach out, get support, right? Have someone external really evaluate you, affirm you, help you. Now, after you're performant and after you've had all these evaluations, you start to feel good about yourself, but you might be sidelined. And you might think, that's a real injustice. Why am I being sidelined? I should have that roster spot. I've earned it. I've been performing. Perfect time to exit, right? No. What are we going to do instead? We're going to use that time when we're sidelined in order to build relationships, build your allyships, talk to your coach. Be like, Coach, what is it that I'm missing? What is it that I need to do to get on that field, right? And let them know that you're ready. You're ready. And why is it worth it? Why is it worth doing all of this? Because one day, there's going to be a time when what they've been doing, the status quo and the current operations, is not going to work. They're going to need something different. And they're going to call you up, and it's going to be your time to shine. And guess what? When women are called up, we're ready, right? We've already done our pregame warm-up. We've hydrated. You know, we've studied the other team. We're ready to work hard. We put in 100%. And when we're in that game, we bring something different, right? We bring cohesion. We like collaboration. We make others work together, right? We inspire. We lead with intent, and we never leave anybody out. And when you have all these things happening, it culminates into a win, right? A winning team. And this is a great feeling. And you may or may not be recognized for all this hard work. But the most important thing is that you were there. You were the only, and you stayed in the game. And then when it's all said and done, and it's your time to walk off the field, you did it because you wanted to. Not because anyone forced you to leave the field. Not because someone forced you to take on a different passion because maybe girls don't play soccer, they play volleyball, right? You're ready to walk off the field. You can look back behind your shoulder and you can see, because you were the only, all the other women that you brought along into the game, playing the game, having men pass them the ball. And that makes everything worth it. Being the only, going through the hardships, going through the challenges, proving that you are competent and proving that you are performant. And that's why we need all of you to stay in the game and not exit. Thank you so much. Thank you, Women Tech Council. And thanks to my dad.